My name is Charlie Baber. I have esophageal cancer. Esophageal cancer is a very unknown cancer relative to other cancers that exist today. However, it is the fastest growing cancer diagnosis in the United States. In the last 20 years, it's increased by 400%, about almost 17,000 cases diagnosed last year. And it's a very serious cancer. The deaths last year actually exceeded the number of cancer deaths from melanoma. Esophagus cancer is a cancer that's caused really primarily by digestive issues. Acid reflux, they believe, is really one important cause of this. And some people have that classic heartburn symptom, but others don't have that. A cough, which I had for a couple of years, kind of a persistent, non-aggressive cough that's there. You need to examine that. And also occasionally, people experience a swallowing issue, where maybe you take a big bite of something and it doesn't go down as easily. Those are warning signs and things that you should discuss with your doctor. You know, when you first learn that you have cancer, you go through different stages, I think, mentally, yourself and in the interactions of those around you. Like, obviously, the first thing that I think most people would realize is you get really afraid. It's fear. You're scared. What's going to happen to me? Then if you start to really study and you have an aggressive cancer like this, it can be very frightening because the statistics themselves can be frightening. However, what I've learned is that what's really important is each and every patient is unique in their own situation. And being informed, having friends that you want to reach out to, that you can talk to, family that are there to support you, and just continuing to really go on living is really what's most important. And when you do that, I think it helps you develop a plan for yourself and an optimism. And I think what really helps you transition is when you enter that treatment phase, when you know you're in a room with a competent physician and people who really are knowledgeable about your area, and they go to work. I am being treated for this cancer at Memorial Sloan Kettering in New York City by Dr. David Ilsen, who is a specialist in this area. And with a lesser-known cancer, I feel very fortunate to have been able to access such a great institution. I've learned that the physician is very important to you from a perspective of you feeling that you're doing the right thing for yourself and for your family. Because really, when you're executing decisions related to cancer, you're thinking not only about yourself, but what about my family? What about my children? What about my parents? What about those that are very close to me? Because it's very emotional for them, and they're going to go through this journey with you as you go through treatment. So I think you have to find a physician that you have confidence in, and not only that, you have to have an ability to relate to them personally, because they're going to ask you very tough questions, and you've got to be honest with them, and you've got to be comfortable to answer. And at the same time, you have to want to be open with them as you go through treatment, and to be able to speak up and talk about how you're feeling, and not only from a perspective of what's happening to you as you're being treated, but also from a mental perspective, because that helps them. I think when friends discover that you have cancer, it's difficult for them. I think they don't know what to do. Should I call them? Should I not call that person? Do I interfere if I'm reaching out? I will tell you that I think the most important thing is to do what you think is right. You know, most people will reach out at a time they feel is appropriate, but I know that I've really appreciated the people who've reached out to me. And in fact, I'm candid with them. I say, if I'm not feeling good or it's not a good time, I'll just tell you. But I think that interaction is so important because, you know, they talk about mental state and being optimistic and being at peace and really having a balance in your life, not just from a diet standpoint or from your treatments, but also mentally. And I think that really helps in progress. I believe it's helping me. You know, I think having a sense of humor is something important because throughout life, I think humor helps diffuse situations that are difficult. And I think cancer certainly is not a humorous topic, but I think for myself, certainly, I've been able to use having a little laugh here or there with my kids, use it as an excuse to turn off a television show that I think is creating too much stress for me, whatever. But I think it's important to have a good laugh. And I've laughed a lot since I've had my diagnosis, and I think it helps you be human. It helps you move forward with your life. There's no question that if you look at every area of cancer, that the results that have created improvements in treatment have all come from research. And that research takes having that research be a priority, having dedicated research physicians and scientists, but it also takes financial resources. And so my goal really is to help make a difference. I want people to really increase their awareness and understand that you may not think you're ever going to have cancer. Because I used to think about it occasionally. It would pop into my head and I'd say, how lucky am I that I've never really been sick? Because I never have really been sick before. But it happened to me. So I want to increase that awareness so other people will not ignore symptoms and be more inclined to speak to their physician and detect disease early, because that's critical in results. But also, I want to help create a financial difference by having a fundraising campaign that's going to help initially fund a research assistant for my research doctor at Sloan Kettering. If you're able and willing to give whatever you can, I'd ask you to do that today through our online donation mechanism. And I'd also ask you to please forward this connection out to 10 people that you know, so we can help them increase their awareness, and if they're able to make a contribution as well, to be able to make that donation. And I want to thank everybody in advance for whatever they can do to help.